more of an aggressive counter pick coming out for Gen.G in this draft.
Yeah, I want to see what's going to happen with this one because, yes, eyes are on Bertle, former T1 trainee. Played a couple Academy splits, or a couple Academy sort of matches, tournaments. They have like a monthly tournament structure. And actually played with T1's jungler, Owner. So like, you know, there's some experience there, and obviously Owner's done well with T1. They're at Worlds here as well. But yeah, you're replacing Rascal, and this is an important match. Like, this group is super wide open.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of space here to be the top dog, and I gotta say T1 should feel confident in the fact that they're up against a player with so little testing.
Yeah, TL, I think, will be feeling pretty good against that, you know, especially because Alphari is known as such a fantastic laner. He is on red side, so if they are concerned about a potential counter pick coming out for Bertle, something like that, they could save his pick for last, but going to be really interested going into the draft. You know, Aurelia is the one champion that, speaking with some of the LCK casters, they said you should not give Bertle his Aurelia.
Yeah.
That is what he is known for. That is his bread and butter, so we'll see if TL are concerned about it.
And I feel like, interestingly enough, we've seen Aurelia banned almost every game. Not actually banned this time around, though, so Gen.G will have the option to pick that one up if they so choose. But Lucian off the table, wanting to go with a strong AD in the bottom lane for Ruler. I mean, Gen.G have always lived and died by Ruler, so I think it makes a lot of sense they're going to go for this lane-dominant champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Misfortune has been very powerful throughout the tournament. A lot of different builds you can go for. More of the crit-style builds with PTA if you're worried about killing frontline. We've seen a lot of lethality, Comet, especially when paired up with Enchanters, try to bully that lane. Gonna be interested to see what Tactical and Corejj do bring out. Actually taking the Aurelia for themselves here. So, potentially could be going top, could be going mid as well for Jensen, but it does feel like more of an Alphari style champion. Jensen has played less of the melee mids this year.
And already they're kind of cementing their style here, right? Ziggs locked in early on. Generally speaking, you consider this to be a weak side bot laner where the support just leaves. Ziggs can 1v2 a lane. He can shove the waves out, clear them to make sure he's not getting dove, has CC if there is a dive going on. And so this is all right. Hey, rookie top laner, this is your 7th professional game. It's at Worlds. You're against Alphari, who's the best laning top laner North America or Europe has ever seen. We're playing to his lane. Have fun.
Yeah, and he did bring out a carry-style champion going with the Camille. Interestingly enough, we're seeing the Amumu come out. We saw the Prio after play-ins fall off immeasurably because this champion just couldn't find a win. Still coming out the combo with Misfortune. And we get a Sejuani with Lee Sin and Zinzao both off the board. I was wondering where this was going.
They want to slam top. It's the Aurelia Sejuani pairing. This is so powerful. The ability to go up towards the top lane to actually try to punish Bertle up there is pretty massive. You can ban out some of the tough matchups for the Sejuani in the jungle right now, take away the Olaf, something like the Xin could be, or is actually already banned out. Lee Sin's already banned out, so they're going to be able to push Clid down fairly far on that jungle priority, and I think it's going to be a lot about top lane this game. You know, with Tactical going to be playing the Ziggs, get a roaming champion for Corejj, move around the map, really try to get active early.
Yeah, I actually really wonder where Gen.G will go with that jungle pick. Something like the Trundle is open. We've seen it a few times. It's something Clid did play in the LCK. I mean, you can take away those stats from the Sejuani. You have Pillar to try and disrupt the Aurelia on the other side, but that pool is really getting pinched by Team Liquid.
And I'm curious which way it goes, because anytime you have a Sejuani, you kind of want melee in your top and mid lane. You mentioned the Aurelia being flexible before. You can still wait and still send the Aurelia to the mid laner and end up with a different counter pick for Alphari.
You know, I wonder if you wouldn't just go something like Trundle jungle here. You know, the set ban does mean it is open. That was always an answer to Sejuani in the past, especially Aftershock. Sejuani really does struggle into the Trundle. You use the ultimate post the Aftershock being procced. You take away all those stats. Sejuani can melt. But we have been seeing a lot less of those style of champions, and the Renekton ban seems a little bit atypical. That feels like...
They still think it's really a flex, right? That's why you do it.
It just doesn't feel like a TL-style draft to go Renekton plus Aurelia. This feels like something that they would be used to seeing in the LCK, and it feels a little bit more of an autopilot ban rather than something that's tailored towards a TL style. The Shen support could actually come through here. That's really interesting. This could also be Shen top, and it could be the Aurelia flex to mid, because Shen early game against Camille is actually quite strong, and you still have that melee pairing with the Sejuani. So really interesting draft here from TL, kind of keeping us guessing until the last pick, because there is the possibility to flex a number of these champions.
I actually love the pick going either way. Again, with the Ziggs, you'd have so much freedom to roam. That top lane matchup you just hit on. But we're seeing the Sylas come out once again. We saw the Sylas stealing away the Shen ult the other day, how massive those shields are with that AP ratio. And Azel, you said it, the Trundle coming out against the Sejuani. Very brawly, very skirmishy on the side of Gen.G.
Yeah, and if you're going to go Shen top, that's a concern for you as well. You know, having multiple good targets here for that Trundle. I do think banning that out instead of the set would have actually set TL up for a better draft. I'm not sure if they were more concerned about a BDD set or something along those lines. It's going to be Jax. Oh my god, this draft from TL. They are going full melee. It's going to be Aurelia mid, Jax top, and it will be Shen support. So it's all about the pairings here, giving multiple lanes for Santorin to attack here with the Sejuani, go to the Aurelia or go to the Jax, have Corejj roaming heavily on the Shen, enabling the 1-3-1 by having this Ziggs to hold down mid lane, wave clear later in the game. This is really interesting, but these comps are so hard to play from behind, so I do think that the lack of range will punish them if they get behind at all.
Yeah, and I do think this is a great welcome for Bortle coming into Worlds, right? It's going to be a party up in the top side. That's the whole reason you have Ziggs with the Shen. And I think a big focus also going to be the mid-jungle 2v2, right? We have an Irelia, we have Trundle on the opposite side to try to shut that 2v2 down. Yep. You can ever get that lane prio going, feels like they're going to have an upper hand in that top lane matchup.
Man, I feel like this is just going to be an all-out brawl on the top side of the map. Like, Santorin is going to want to play in that top quadrant. When you're thinking about fights around Rift Herald, you're thinking about priority up there, vision denial, roaming supports, getting up there, because Santorin wants to have access to go both mid or top without being spotted and really play in that quadrant of the map, because that is what this game is going to be about, getting Jensen ahead, getting Alphari ahead, so they can run the side lanes later in the game.
But I got to talk about the other half of this game. We have spent a lot of time talking about Team Liquid, talking about that draft. We say the Trundle looks good, okay, sure, but I need to talk about Gen.G. I need to talk about the fact that Ruler is here, because this man has been one of the best AD carries since he came on the map. He won a world championship. He's against a player he won worlds with. He and Corejj, they became the best bot lane in the world. They took down T1 in the finals. They were an incredible pairing. This is the first time they are playing against each other since winning worlds together. And this bot lane combo of Ruler and Life, Curses at Bullet Time, has been known around the world when it even wasn't a bot lane duo. This could be very, very scary, and if Tactical's left alone, MF Amumu can punish that champion. Yeah. Ruler can easily be one condition, just like we're setting up Alphari to be one as well.
I think one thing that's really interesting to me, though, from talking to teams, they've been surprised at the lack of Ziggs coming in, because Ziggs can do quite well up against Misfortune. You clear the wave easily. You can throw out the satchel charge to try to disrupt the ultimate as well. And we haven't really seen Amumu quite work yet. Maybe Life can, breathe some life into the champion.
Yeah, Amumu really has been struggling in play-ins. It was pretty high priority, pretty much was only losing. I think got like maybe one win in play-ins in 5 or 6 games, somewhere thereabouts. But this is going to be an interesting one. And that was a pretty clever level 1 that didn't amount to anything from TL. You can taunt over into the Rift Herald pit there as Corejj. Then they had the 3 members wrapping around through top lane. And if the top laner is actually guarding in the brush, which is a pretty standard level 1, then you collapse from both sides and potentially can get a kill there.
I think especially talking about junglers, I'm really curious to see where they path, because both mid and top lane matchups are super volatile, right? When you think of both Irelia and Sylas, typically they win their matchups by going for the all-in, so henceforth they need vision, they need junglers to be around, but both your top laners have Ignite, so I think it'll be very telling to see where Santorin and Clid focus first and then try to bring that pressure elsewhere. My guess would be heading up towards the top side first and then maybe looking mid afterwards.
Well, you can see the pathing, right? So Sejuani's doing a pretty standard bottom side to top side, so yes, going to see her around level 3 on the top lane, but unless you're doing a level 2 gank for Clid, doing blue Gromp and then just an instant gank to the top lane, he's playing around getting kills in tactical, because keep in mind, there are 0 defensive summoners in the TL bot lane. He's got a TP. That's not getting you away from move bandages. So the ability to just chain down this Ziggs is very possible, and just say, okay, well, Jack's going to have some lane pressure, but Amumu, right, and the MF, like they can just win the lane, and you can get help from Trundle there.
Yeah, but we are seeing the Trundle go for that level 2 that you were just talking about, Freak. Alphari now jumping in.
Okay, looking for the stun. He's going to be able to dodge for a little bit, but be careful. Walks in to find the stun here as well. Now the Q is the important part. Jump back to a minion or a ward. He's going to buy enough space that he'll be all right. The flash ball. They've got the slows, and Alphari has no way out. First blood comes through as Clid gets the 3 camp clear in the top lane.
Yeah, well played there by Clid. When you're playing this Ignite versus Ignite, no flash available for Alphari. As soon as he uses the Counter-Strike forward, you kind of feel like he's dead. Not going to be able to have enough time to actually get out of there. So Alphari does go down, and it's so rough because he's actually TPing back in on the minion. Santorin is here to cover him, so he just wants to get this into a good position. He wants to be able to potentially freeze this against Bertle, try to threaten Bertle, make him go back to base and expend his own teleport so that can be even back up.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Santorin, right, he was on a ward. Really nice by GEN.G to cover that side of the map. And now we're going to see a bit of aggressive trading coming out. Both junglers going to path towards that mid lane. We might have a bit of a skirmish on our hands.
3-on-3, both supports are here. BDD teleports back in. Santorin walks out as well. The pillar not getting a whole lot done. Already, I got my first mistake in the cast, because yeah, it was red Raptors, or sorry, red blue Gromp, which is the easy level 3 path, and it was a very good gank path as Bertle got some help on the top side. The kill did go to Trundle, by the way, and Clid has not spent that money just yet, so that's not cash yet on the field. Bertle has TP'd back to the top lane, though, with a cull.
Yeah, and thankfully for Santorin, he was power farming there, so he did get up a bit on the farm himself, so he's not tremendously behind. Bertle did expend the TP, so that's really what Alphari wanted there. He wanted to TP back, fight aggressively, push Bertle back to base, make him teleport while Santorin was in the area. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold any sort of a freeze, so the wave is going to bounce back here, and that is when Alphari will be exposed once more, and we have to see where Clid is going to actually head out on the map.
Yeah, and Clid's actually set up pretty well, right? Still has his bottom side camps up. Portal just got the wave into turret, so can path from bot to top when Alphari's minion wave should be on GEN.G's side of the map, and look for a bit of a repeat gank with the fact that those flashes still aren't there. So I'm actually more curious to see how Santorin's going to respond. He's also potentially able to path towards that top side as well.
So what's interesting is, yeah, Santorin's just doing his full clear, right? Back to bottom to top, this is very standard, it's what you expect, and it's also what GEN.G kind of knows. All 4 normal camps were up for Clid. He could have chosen anywhere to start his camps. He could have done like Wolves Gromp back to top, for example, but he's saying, I'm also going to go for a full clear. We're also going to go 4 camps top side. Right now, it also allows him to cover bot in case something is spicy down there, but didn't go for the aggressive play towards top.
Yeah, it is interesting because he would have had to rush towards top for Alphari to not crash that wave first, because with that stacked wave, you need your jungler there. You can't just hold it as Bertle or take too much damage. Jensen, though, could be in some trouble here.
Flashes get away from the pillar. Santorin is around, but there's no way you really win that fight anymore. Despite both mid laners being low on health, Flashless Jensen not going to be liking that one.
Yeah, still really nice coming out from Jensen to recognize right away. We've seen her really doing quite well in this matchup. When she gets her passive stacked up, Celis just can't go for those extended trades.
Will they make over
this? They're going to find the stun. They're going to find the taunt as well. The teleport coming back in as well. They're going to bring over the Ziggs. Is it going to be enough damage? The flash follow. And yes, Corejj with Ignite gets a second kill of the game. 1-1 so far, close in goal.
It's the support diff. Corejj coming in, trying to show Ruler what he's missing here.
Nice fight in the mid line. Okay, low health on Jensen, but he's going to be okay as well. 200 HP with BDD. Hold him into a turret shot, so it's going to be the wave shoved out. This is a 3v2. Tough to get much done, but Corejj dangerously low. 100 health left, has a shield with a stun. The pillar is up. Is that going to be a kill? Yes, Clid takes him down. 2-1 GEN.G.
BDD, really great dash back there. We saw Corejj try to go for that minimum range taunt, tried to get onto BDD with that, but when that misses, he is in with no way to get out, and he gets taken down.
And I just love the fact that GEN.G are also using that play to transfer next into top. Scuttlecrab topside luckily did come up. You're also able to cover your Camille at the same time. And with TL coming from bases, it looks like they're trying to cover Alphari, knowing something can happen. Portal might be punished.
Gonna be a stun. Level 6 on both top laners here. Bertle pretty low, finds himself a stun, but the taunt is in. Santorin finds himself a kill. Assist only onto Alphari, and only 75 gold for that.
I feel like they should have just given that to Alphari. I don't think that Santorin, it's worth him going in, trying to get the assist tag, I understand. But it is important to get your jacks ahead when you're going for this type of draft. Instead, they will just shove. They're gonna reset the wave, and Bertle does have no TP. That's why he was hard shoving. He wanted to reset the wave. So at the very least, they will deny the minions from him. But Clid, already very rich, is going to get even more gold as he'll be able to pick up that wave.
Tactical, you can see getting zoned out of the wave right now as well. That's one turret plate taken over to Ruler, whereas the rest of this, he's as cool as come back, and sadly, gets 28 gold. But that is a plate, and that is several minions lost. Ruler up 12 CS here.
I feel like it's also interesting to think about how these comps are going to look more holistically going forward, right? I definitely think Team Liquid going to have more of an advantage in the side lanes in the 1-3-1. They have the counter pick and top side. They have the Shen. Zig's much better just being able to toss his ult across the map and be able to clear any waves. So Gen.G, I would expect to see start maybe stacking up some dragons quite soon. Rift Herald is about to come up, though, so maybe Gen.G can try and find that 5v5 with Ruler pathing towards the mid lane right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they want to go for that. It does look like with Ruler coming up here, that is the plan. I do think TL could just happily trade for the dragon. If they're not ready for this 5v5, just take the dragon yourself, play slowly through the side lanes, because Soul is going to be the easiest way for Gen.G to force TL to come 5v5 them later in the game. So I do think even just the one dragon here for TL is fairly valuable. They don't really have the setup to contest this Herald, so no sense in even trying.
I feel like that's the big thing, right? When we think about comps that want to play through side lanes, it's all about like how long you could delay that timer you're going to be put on for a Soul. And this is something that you were actually talking to me about yesterday, Azael, is the fact that dragons have been slower and slower here at the World Championship than they were before. I feel like that's why we've been seeing a lot of these side lane comps thrive a bit more.
Right in the mid lane now. Good son of Jensen. Ult comes across as well. The pillar is into the head. The damage to kill him. He's getting low, and he gets the dodge zone. Just in time. Corejj is there, but Clid still able to follow in and find that kill. Nearly getting Corejj as well. Life under the turret. Support diff indeed. The turret is going to get him back, so Santorin gets a kill graciously, but it's Gen.G in control. Mid lane turret going to fall to Rift Herald.
Yeah, this is a dead tower there. Gen.G getting aggressive here in the mid lane. They know TL want to try to attack this place, but Gen.G has been better at it. Clid has been dominating here in this game, always in the right place at the right time, and now post 6 with this lead that he has, Santorin just cannot really match up against him.
I feel like the big thing that scares me for Team Liquid now is the fact that Jensen going to be in a position where he can be punished so much now with that long lane and mid. Clid going to be able to get a lot of value, but now we're looking at Santorin. Alphari stacking the wave. They could set up this dive.
BDD does have teleport, though, so this is a bit of a tough one, I think, to try to pull off. We'll see if they're going to go for it, and if the TP will come out immediately.
Okay, here we go. Mid lane's showing up now as well. Ulti going to buy a little bit of time, but they're still going to find that first stun, the second stun, and Burdall's burning down, and he will die. Tridago dropped, and now Jensen finds himself alone under the turret. They're going to be able to reset on this one. Half health should be enough to survive the fight. BDD looking aggressive. 100 HP left on a Jensen. Gets a second Q for a heal, but the pillar makes sure that BDD can land that final shot. It's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, really nice coming out from BDD. Sadly, didn't hit the Abscond Abduct at first to keep him under turret, but realized, hey, Clid is right behind. If I keep going, I can secure this kill. Jensen then maybe thinking, hey, we can try and turn this. There's 3 of us. Does pretty much just get insta-gibbed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually the right choice there for Alphari and Santorin to not turn around. If you turn back, I think Clid will get involved. You'll all end up dying. But unfortunately for them, again, Clid is up here. He already has the Mythic completed. They're going to shred this tower. Trundle is one of the best tower killers here. Q working on tower, the auto reset, the additional attack speed from your W. They take 3 plates, plus they traded a kill. The gold lead is exploding. They're nearly 3,000 ahead now. Gen.G running away with it.
Right, I feel like that's the big thing coming in. Gen.G have had like slightly better map movements than Team Liquid. Kills have been close, but now this is just coming down to cash money diff. Where they're getting more plates on the side of Gen.G. Those stats and item differences are going to start to build up. We are seeing Team Liquid finally answer on the opposite side of the map with that dragon, though.
I mean, you look at the mid lane diff, though. This is 2,000 gold in the mid lane at 11 minutes. That is... Whoop.
Hit him just the wrong direction. He thought he was pushing him in. Tactical still shorted it. You want to put it a little farther back regardless, but all right. You know, not too much harm, not too much foul. Tactical going to keep trying to farm some turret plates. Obviously, Gen.G off to an 11-plate start. 2.5 minutes to go till the rest of them fall off. And Team Liquid have 1 down in the bottom lane.
I feel like a big thing looking at that mid lane difference that Azael was just hitting on is the fact that there's a lot of like valuable ultimates on the side of Team Liquid. You take away that Sejuani ult, you have things like the Hextech ultimatum in the top side. You set up so Life can't miss a bandage toss like we've seen so many Amumu's do. And you have such an easy way of locking down Team Liquid's whole team.
And I mean, if BDD can actually steal the Shen ult, it scales with AP incredibly well. It has an above 1 AP ratio, so you're putting down like 800 HP shields with the Shen ultimate, and that can help Bertle if he even is behind. But to be honest, they haven't really been able to create any soul lane advantage, and TL is just getting destroyed in this early game. It's been about BDD, Clid, Life moving around some as well, but really mostly mid and jungle for Gen.G getting so much done, getting the Herald. Santorin has had a pretty good game. I mean, he's 2-0-2, he's been involved in everything, but Clid has gotten more done, and the amount of gold they have taken from towers has really just skyrocketed Gen.G into the lead.
There's a 2,600 gold from objectives so far in this game. It's going quite well for the Gen.G side. That pretty much explains the entire gold lead. Obviously, farm is pretty close. The bot lane within 17 is not horrible. Mid laners, basically identical, and the top jungle kind of makes up for the lead that Ruler has. Dragon has been taken by Team Liquid. That is one saving grace, makes the score a little bit better than what you can see from the gold difference. But yes, this is TL trying to go top focused, and sadly all they've gotten is a kill and 9 CS top side. It's looking really good for Gen.G as once again everyone comes around. Birdall finds himself in a 1v4, but his jungler and support are on the way, so Santorin has to pay respects now as the pillar comes in, hits to the side, and now running out of stats, he's got to be careful. Birdall dives in, Jensen's around, here comes the team fight. Does TL find the way back in as Ziggs falls to the bot side? 2 for 1 so far on the top though for TL, but BDD is here to take some names and add them to the list. It's going to be everyone on Team Liquid dropping across map. Ace, Gen.G came to play.
I feel like that is so massive for the side of Gen.G. Once BDD got to that fight up in top side, it was locked and loaded for them. And bot lane solo kill Azale, it's not looking good.
It's looking all over in this one. Ruler just under Zero's tactical, trying to TP in his face there. Gets lit up by the MF ulti. And that fight, as soon as I saw 4v4 happening top, you know that one is pretty much going to decide the game. Gen.G already ahead. They smack him with the wall. It's BDD and Clid running over TL. And this one feels done. And we'll see it again in the new Axe Effect replay here.
Oh.
Just right in his face. I mean, he knew that he was there because he was in sight of the minions. Tactical knows that that fight top lane is going to decide the game, but just not thinking it through, and he knows he messed up.
Yeah, you can see the frustration. I do want to walk back and say, I can understand what Team Liquid were going for at first, right? You can't group mid. We talked about the side lane comp and trying to play around. They just need to stall and try and get the Jax going. They hover around top side. They hope that Birdall will maybe make an overstep. But Gen.G, no one's showing on any waves on TL's side. They can only be looking for one place. Gen.G go with the counterattack. And sadly, TL might have had the right idea, but it just got punished with how far behind they are.
I mean, the Trundle has just absolutely destroyed them, and it doesn't really get better. You know, he's so far ahead that he has so much damage, and he's going to be incredibly tanky while making the Sejuani really, really easy to take down. So it's very tough to see how TL come back in this game unless it goes incredibly long. Really, the only way for them to actually come back is just playing side lanes, hoping Jackson gets to 3, 4, 5 items. But Gen.G has the ability to push the pace of the game.
Done in turret range, turret shot number 1. Ult at least gets flashed away, but Jensen's down a 5-minute long summoner spell. His team's got to retreat, and BDD finds a second stun. Almost life. Nearly gets him with the bandage toss, but it does mean Santorin can walk the rest of the way out. There should not quite be a tower dive, but the tower itself can't have that same safety. That'll fall down.
Yeah, and I feel like a big thing in that place, Gen.G got to win everywhere on the map, right? Clid was up on top side taking the Rift Herald. We saw TL cross-mapping quite nicely, but not able to get that turret damage down, especially up against BDD. Life was covering, and BDD realizes, hey, Herald's done. Clid can start making his way down. They look for the engage. Now it's going to be 2 turrets for the side of Gen.G.
Lead keeps growing. 3,100, yep, goes up to 3,200 now. That is a 7,000 gold lead at 16 minutes, nearly insurmountable here. If they stop doing stuff, and to what the analyst has talked about a little bit ago before kind of leading up into this game, sometimes they do play a bit passively, but mostly that's when they're losing. That's when they don't know what kind of risks to take. Here, you just show up for any objective. They're already there on spawn for their first dragon, so, okay, on the way to a relatively late, but you know, probably a securable Dragon Soul later on in this game. We know Baron's up at 3.5.
Yeah, and honestly, I think you can just start sieging aggressively. Like, you don't have to play this game very clever. When you are this far ahead, you just start pushing all the lanes, taking any even number fight you can find. BDD as well as Clid are really unstoppable at this point. TL only have one game plan at this point. It's really just pray for Jax and hope that Jackson gets so big that he can start finding solo kills, he can start finding answers in the side lane, but Life is here to cover it.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing Gen.G's doing really well, right? Because there's no easy neutrals on the map that you can take. No Dragon, no Baron for a while. BDD, though, going one with Jensen.
Battling with Jensen. Gromp gets claimed by BDD. Alphari's getting low on both sides. Zig's here to assist. Stopwatch buys a bit of time, and now Clid has arrived, and Jensen nearly finds it, but not enough. BDD gets the last of the kill, and now we find a topside dive, but Life will stun them under the turret, and that means it's going to be curtains, though, for the Camille. BDD back in, whiffs the stun. Maybe something comes in. Corejj flashes away from the bullet time. However, Ruler's still here to shoot, and that might be Santorin dropping, but Life has to burn the stopwatch. Now, Jax is back in, but cannot get that kill, and it's time for TL to run away. If someone's in range, they're going to find the kill, but not quite. Just the 1-for-1 up there. That said, Jensen still dropped in bot lane.
Actually, so close to picking up some of those bounties there. BDD on very low health, but TL doesn't have enough gas in the tank to actually finish off any of those kills. So Gen.G continues rolling.
Yeah, and I feel like one thing that Gen.G's doing quite well is, you know, this concept of being able to cover two sides of the map at once with your lead. You know, if it's an even game, if you're behind, not the best idea that the team with more players in the area will be able to win out, but Life, covering that top side like you mentioned, Azale, allows for Clid to go and help BD down in bottom side. They find that first kill. Once again, Amumu able to buy enough time for the rest of Gen.G to make their way up towards top side as well.
And honestly, the dive felt a little bit desperate, going for it in the face of the Amumu. You know you're going to get Amumu ulted under tower, but they have to go for risky plays now. They know that they are very far behind. They've got to take swings, and at the very least, they did force a lot of summoners. You know, Ruler could be vulnerable here. You know, both the summoners from him, both summoners from BDD. Life has used his as well. So you've got to try to look where those bounties are, see if you can pick up some gold here from TL. But Gen.G is just enormously ahead.
And now Gen.G, I think, are making the right call. Just keep playing around your Stylus. Again, no Baron, no Dragon up just yet. Get topside vision, look for picks, put some pain on Alphari if you are able to catch him out. And for Team Liquid, you're just going to keep playing away from that, go towards the opposite side of the map, trying to get the jungle camps you can, and it's just continue to extend the game. Where for Gen.G, I feel like if Team Liquid don't really make any mistakes topside, you aren't going to be able to take too much, and you kind of are waiting out for a Baron, which will be up soon, and then you probably can try and pull them out of their base and force a fight.
Before I get some damage into Bird all, but yet down a level right now. Top lane tier 2 fell instantly. The inhibitor turret now under fire as well. Zig's wave clears most of it, and that means okay. Got to back out for a little bit longer. You can see if the Aurelia split push get much done. No one is answering her just yet, and in fact, Team Liquid's ward control is all around that bottom side, but as we wait for the next wave to come in, we should expect that top lane turret to fall. It should be Gen.G getting that with Sylas and Trundle if they want it, but the recalls will come through, and they're going to wait their turn for this one. It's going to be safe jungle clearing for TL, and safety as the Camille has controlled bot lane.
Yeah, and now we're going to get to the point of the game where we expect, again, Baron coming up just now. A lot of resets coming off for Gen.G. Make your way up towards the top side. Pull Team Liquid out of base. This is where I'd like to see Gen.G be a bit more spicy, realize the kind of lead that they have. Try to bait a Baron. You have great turret potential. You have the Amumu, you have the Hextech ultimatum. It would be very hard for Team Liquid to walk in, face check vision, and be able to get out scot-free.
And honestly, even if you don't want to start up the Baron, just start invading the topside jungle, denying vision from TL, make them nervous that you're on it, make them enter into that jungle and fight over vision, which is a very safe and easy way to kind of progress the game.
Azale, in the LPL, you don't go for the safe, the guaranteed way. You go straight towards
from the LCK.
Baron. It's fine. Just bring a bit of flavor into it. And now Gen.G just going to keep pushing up mid. Looks like Gen.G maybe just wanting to go for that, you know, again, more risk-averse route, get some vision up top side. Next Dragon's coming up in 40 seconds. I just feel like we're so far away from a soul that it doesn't really make much sense to play for it.
Yeah, well, right now, Team Liquid's not really concerned either as they kind of recall away from that side of the map. You can see Jackson, Shen both walking topside, the Ziggs and the Sejuani over there as well. Indeed, Team Liquid is going to keep seeding Dragons for now, and Gen.G, they're doing the paint by numbers, right? They are just saying, okay, we go for the big neutral objectives. They have not gone for the aggressive siege. They have not yet gone for a Baron setup. Of course, they have plenty of time to do so. We're not about to crest the point where TL have caught up, but you always wonder, is a team ever at some point too safe? As Clid now is going to go ahead and tower knife tactical. The slow is in, it's going to force the flash. So indeed, not too safe. Bot lane tier 2 is down. Gen.G ready to get more done.
Yeah, TL will get the top tier 1, but that is just not nearly enough. They're already on the inhibitor towers. They just know how strong they are. If BDD and Clid are there, TL basically can't do anything, and they already lost one inhibitor tower. They're about to lose the second unless TL are willing to fight.
Looks like they are willing to fight for it as Jack stays in the top lane. They want to defend the 4v5, pulling the TP, and now Jensen getting low. Ziggs only goes on a ruler, forcing him back, kills. Oh, it's a 2-for-1 so far. Team Liquid may have defended the base for now. Corejj is in for the third kill, and the fourth, an 800 gold shutdown.
Oh.
GEN.G went to take a fight, and it blew up in their face.
They're trying to dive the inhib here. They may have thrown the game. TL can go to Baron. Alphari just got an 800 gold shutdown off of Clid. What was that? Why are they doing that? They have a free inhibitor to take mid lane. Instead, BDD is ulting in onto Jensen under the tower with his whole team around him.
It's kind of crazy because GEN.G looked like they weren't willing to go for those riskier routes of closing out the game.
This is why!
You should never go for that. That's not risky. That's suicide.
All right, they got to burn this one down. Smite should be easy. Yes, indeed it is. Birdall's here alongside Ruler. Jensen has the flash to get away. So Team Liquid, all 5 alive, all 5 have Baron buff, and the gold difference is now only 3,000.
I cannot believe what I just saw.
I can.
This is one of the most unlosable games we've seen at Worlds so far, and GEN.G may have just found a way. I mean, re-engage, the whole team is here. Yes, they do force out the TP, but so much damage is being done from this tower that has been heated up. Alphari getting such a huge amount of gold here with this shutdown, 800 from him. They clean up 4, they take Baron. The Soul is still a mile away from GEN.G. They got 2 during that replay. But now TL do have a real way to win this game. Blade of the Rune King is completed. The items start to come in, and they are within striking distance.
Yeah, I mean, for Team Liquid, their win condition for the past, 10 minutes has been buy time. Just turtle in your base, get as many jungle camps as you can, and try and prevent GEN.G from getting any big objectives or breaking down something like an inhibitor. But now, keep stalling, keep building up. GEN.G, though, I will say, I still feel like they're favored in team fights as of now.
I mean, they are. They're
Absolutely.
up about 3,500 gold, but you can buy a lot of time with the Baron and 4 kills, and so indeed TL going to sit back in their base as Birdall wants in, burns the ulti, and Tactical is under fire, gets a lock, it gets to interrupt the ult, but he will still drop as BDD claims the shutdown now himself, and GEN.G may just try again and take that fight. Alphari on the early recall.
I thought GEN.G maybe were going for round 2 right there. I think it would have been a lot better with the fact that Tactical is down. Portal just walking in, getting the Hextech ultimatum, but they're still positioning for this. I don't know why they're not taking mid inhibitor though, Zale.
It looks like they just want to try to end the game. They're just looking for a rinse and repeat. This time it will be a 5v4 because Tactical is dead for 25, but it's so much easier to take the mid lane inhibitor first, get the pressure there, then go somewhere else. They don't need to have this obsession with that bottom lane.
Especially weirder when they didn't even have a wave at that moment. Looked like they only had a couple of minions left. They are going to make the safer play now, though. They're going to back off. Looks like sending BDD to answer that wave up in top side. Maybe pick up a blue buff as well. Team Liquid's Baron buff should be timing out soon as well. And it will make GEN.G's life a lot easier looking for those aggressive pushes.
Yeah, the Rebel Baron power play is a solid 600 gold. That actually may still out of the dot, though. Clid is going to now be taunted.
Got no
Indeed,
flash.
gets the scuttles. That's some money in his pockets. But as he's stunned up, he's still going to try to buy some time. Puts the pillar down. Now Aurelia's in for a bit more as well. They should have the damage. And indeed, finally a kill is answered. 300 gold goes to Corejj, the kill leader of Team Liquid, by the way, as the red buff goes to Alphari.
Yeah, another nice kill there. They punished the missing flash from Clid. It's just Santorin and Corejj chasing him down. They can't hurt him at all, but they just needed to slow him down until Jensen could get there, and Jensen is becoming a legitimate threat now. He's completed the second item. You know, we have that side lane win condition here potentially for TL. They are still quite down in this game. It is still GEN.G favored. But this should have been a sure thing for GEN.G, and it's definitely not at this case.
Yeah, and I think GEN.G have to realize that, played a bit slower. Wait for one of those TPs to come back up so they can't have someone defending.
Good sidestep by BDD, gets away from the stun, does have a Zhonya's tower, that's going to be difficult, as Santorin drops tower aggro, no stun to be found, second stopwatch used to make sure he isn't dropping to the Ziggs damage. That is at least an important cooldown and a consumable fully taken away now. GEN.G missing just a couple of resources. We wait 2 minutes for the next dragon to spawn.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty expensive little bit of survival there used by BDD. The second stopwatch has no value, right? He just spent 650 gold to live there. So yes, you don't give over the 300 gold for a kill, but this was not actually fighting over a Baron. This was not fighting over Soul or Elder. You spent 650 gold to live. So that does cost you something, and that is something that you can kind of chip away at the lead as well.
It's even weirder when you think about that it was an off timing of where there's nothing on the map that's going to be up anytime soon.
Yeah.
That would have been one of those deaths that, sure, it's bad. It would give, you know, over another turret, potentially 2 Team Liquid, but wouldn't really change the state of the game all too much for the side of GEN.G. Now, though, I think GEN.G do have some important summoner spells coming back up. Both BDD and Bortle do have those TPs up, so they can put BDD down on the bottom side of the map. Dragon's going to be there, just have Camille answering waves on top side, get some aggressive vision, and go back to trying to find those picks like before. I think what we've seen from Team Liquid's comp, though, is as long as Tactical's playing far back, there really aren't too many windows for GEN.G to find those aggressive picks.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be coming from multiple angles, using things like the Trundle Pillar to help close the gap there, get Life into the backline, get Bertle into the backline, so you can set up for this bullet time that Ruler wants to get. Because really, you only have to do it once. Yes, Tactical can play far back, but he is a very swishy build. He doesn't have a stopwatch. He doesn't have a Zonias or anything to keep him safe. If they can connect, get that CC onto him, and bullet time goes over top, even just for a couple hits, he's going to die.
And now for GEN.G, though, it just looks like they are consciously waiting out the next dragon. Baron will be up around the same time, though, so it feels like GEN.G at least have ways to try to find and force the fights they want. They do have vision behind Team Liquid. Santorin, though,
he knows his right side is safe, and he can always jump away, so he's not afraid of a pillar play, and the rest of the CC is pretty well telegraphed. With flash up, you can survive in a Mumu. And we're seeing now the setup around the bottom side. This is what we're playing for here. GEN.G with a little bit better ward control. Now walking up for this ward as well, but Tactical going to zone that out, so TL will keep some wards up.
And it's worth pointing out, Tactical is level 16, highest in the game. He's gotten so much solo experience clearing these waves. Level 3 Zigzag this early is punishing.
This might fight soon.
But look at mid lane.
Look at Santorin. BDD coming behind, and yes, Bortle can go for the base itself. He's going right in for it, so you got to watch for this one. Nice smite comes through for Clid. Other team fight comes in, but Camille wants the base. How much time will they buy? BDD with the ulti, as Santorin's coming in for a bit more, but Nexus turrets are going to be dropping pretty soon. BDD is down, 1 for nothing, but you have to defend the Nexus, and that's going to happen here as Alphari is there to fight his 1v1 again.
Bertle
Third dragon came through for GEN.G. The question is, can the Camille be caught, though, as she runs around, has a blast plant to hit, and Santorin, without an ulti, he's going to find the knockup, going to find a slow. There's the last auto. There is the stun. So that should mean the kill. Bullet time is big. Santorin versus Zonias, and Corejj goes down. The ult comes across for Ziggs. It's still going to be a tight fight. GA popped. Jensen, can he get on the Ruler? Sterex popped. Running out of health. Life could be next. The damage comes in, and Clid continues to carry the game. How about Tactical? He's in a 2 versus 3. Bit of a 1 versus 3 as Alphari not nearby as well, but Clid is armor stacked, and Tactical wants to find this kill, but cannot land the shots, and that means it is GEN.G who win the fight with an extra turret on top and the dragon.
Still, this game feels so close at this point. Ruler's ultimate absolutely massive there. TL getting a bit baited, chasing Bortle in, and GEN.G feeling like this is an opportunity to look for this Baron, and man, are they burning it.
Yeah, Ziggs could come in here, though, over the wall, look to try to get some poke, but he has to be worried about the turn from BDD and Life, and it looks like he's just going to have to give it up. I'm not even sure that he's aware it's going down. TL will lose the Baron. They're way down in gold here.
Oh! It was a nice attempt. Ult landed at about 1,500, but then it was in smite range, and Clid claimed it. So well done to GEN.G to play around that. You saw them kind of stop DPS. Some of that might have been for Bertle's respawn, but they made it happen. They claimed the objective, 5,000 gold lead, and just as Baron times out, they're gonna have to fight for the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised, right? We were talking about earlier how we didn't maybe think we'd get to this point with the early lead that GEN.G had to where the game would come down to a soul play. Team Liquid done a decent job so far, but we're gonna go straight to a replay of the Baron. I guess just we wanna see how close it was for Tactical. 1,500, looks like it left about between 700 and 300 left. I'm not sure if the ability came out after that, but nice try.
Death cap, I think, was completed after that play. That would have been probably not enough to finish it off. That's not quite how aggressive the AP ratio is, but again, still well done. They saw the icon on the ground. Everyone stopped DPS. Okay, we're safe. Let's go grab this. So well done by GEN.G. They played it around pretty well, and now we get to find the third attempt at this bot lane inhibitor turret. Team Liquid do their very best to wave clear, but these minions are tanky.
Yeah, with the Baron, it's very tough now here to actually clear them out, especially with Bertle pushing in mid. Tactical's going to do his best. He is very strong, but we'll see if they can hold on.
That's a stun on a Santorin. Doesn't get a whole lot done. Jensen pushed back by a pillar. Still just going for the minions. Half HP on the bottom inhibitor turret. Middle inhibitor getting chipped down by minions, mostly not going for the big siege there, as they're going to allow Tactical to knock down this wave.
And I like the GEN.G just playing out their 2 waves. Didn't want to keep anyone top to have to go up against someone like Alphari. They are just going to use these cannon minions to slowly chip down at these structures. And for Team Liquid, it looks like they're just hoping to find an angle where they can get a good fight, but GEN.G playing it nice and slow.
Ruler walks up for the turret. After getting knocked back once, he's able to knock that one down. Bertle gonna be stunned up. Now ulti coming across. They might go for the play, but he immunes the stun. Still gonna be able to find that first kill. 5v4 in the map. However, bottom inhibitor is down. The turret was already killed. Corejj dropped a little bit there as well. Team Liquid lose a turret, find a kill, and wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, they do hold on here. They do lose just the 1 inhib, but it is an important one when Baron comes up next. Thankfully for them, it's going to be about this next dragon, so at least it is easier to push that out when you're playing towards the dragon. But Mountain Soul, I just think, is so powerful in this meta with such high amounts of burst, and it will be extremely valuable for GEN.G if they can get it. TL have got to contest, but they're going to have this constant pressure in bot.
I feel like especially this game, right? We look at the amount of resistances already coming out so far, both on Sejuani and Trundle, Alphari having some as well. But I do feel like Team Liquid have finally gotten to a respectable point where, you know, if the Curse of the Sad Bullet time doesn't hit the mark that it's supposed to, if Tactical can hit a good ultimate, it will be really close. So definitely looking at execution. GEN.G do still have Baron though, so they'll control waves. They'll be able to get the deep vision in the enemy jungle, and they should have an advantage when TL have to walk in.
So 2 stopwatches for Team Liquid, support and top lane. 2 Guardian Angels for GEN.G in mid and support. So keep in mind that both teams can go twice basically. Dragon spawning in 23 seconds, that's going to be the play. Bot has been pushed out pretty well by the Jacks, but of course timers are going to be limited as mid's going to be pushed in by Ruler's Misfortune. There's always the angle at running it straight through mid and ending the game that way. Alphari going to get 1 more wave. This Dragon's up in 7 seconds, and GEN.G going to fork this a little bit. Camille stays mid, has teleport. Jensen matching that one for now, and here comes the Dragon fight. Last time around, Clid won the Smite fight. If he gets it here, it is Dragon Soul for GEN.G.
Alphari is just looking to try to get a potential angle here for the flank. And Bertle continuing to push mid. Jensen has to sit back. Whoever TP's first could potentially get interrupted by the other one, but TL does have the positioning here, and they are going to grab the dragon. Now, can they get back to base? GEN.G doesn't want to commit for it. They're just trying to take the inhibitors top.
Instantly burn the teleports, don't lose too much of the base. They're going to go for a top lane inhibitor turret. Decent damage there, but not going to kill it right away. Oh, damage onto Alphari. Wave 3 means the turret might switch aggro, and BDD will not be stunned. Goes gold, and Bertle back in. Alphari quite low. Bullet time comes across. Locket buys a bit of time, but Alphari loses the Guardian Angel. Jensen has to be careful, has his own GA, but does Alphari live? Yes, he does. Stun not going to land from Santorin. Disengage is safe from GEN.G. Double inhibitor down because of Bertle hitting mid earlier, and now we wait 1.5 for the Baron to spawn.
Yeah, I do feel like going back to that sequence was so strange coming out from GEN.G. Looks like they kind of just wanted to posture in front of Team Liquid, maybe buy time for Bertle to do well in the 1v1, but not a lot of like poke coming out, no ease coming out from Ruler to try to set up for an ultimate, but they just back off and give the dragon.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they were afraid in that given 4v4. You know, they have their 2 strongest members there. Mid and jungle are both there. You know, at this point of the game, you feel like that's a 4v4 that they could have pushed a little bit more aggressively into, but it did feel like they were paying a tremendous amount of respect to Tactical, who is quite strong at this point on the Ziggs, maybe worried about trying to funnel in into that Ziggs damage, but they give over what would have been a soul without even contesting when they're the ones that are in the lead here. At the very least, they did take mid inhib. Bot inhib's going to be back here probably pretty soon, but they will maintain at least 1 inhibitor down with the Baron spawning.
I feel like the big thing, though, is like the items coming out, right, Freak? Like, we already see item advantage coming out in top side. Team Liquid just hitting those spikes that you want to see, and GEN.G really giving up that lead that we saw early on. Sure, it's 4K gold, but 4K gold at 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's less meaningful than before, for sure. Good smite comes through for Clid. What they want to point out, as you're talking about items, though, is the fact that Zhonya's has a far shorter cooldown than Guardian Angel. So we traded BDD Zhonya's for Alphari's GA, and that item spike, yeah, it's nice to have, but now it's an on-cooldown Guardian Angel, so it's barely worth the stats you're paying for in the first place. And now they're going to try for him yet again. Puts the dodge up, but be careful. You're not coming back from this one for his last life. Alphari may die as Bertle gets the kill. a shutdown, and they may go for the base off the 5v4.
Yeah, that is huge. Such a long respawn timer here for Alphari. It looks like they want to just take Baron first, then look to try to end the game with that Baron buff. Only one inhibitor tower, only one Nexus tower still alive here for TL, who's hunting for Bertle, but he knows no one's showing. Back it up, wait for GEN.G to grab the Baron.
I feel like the big thing for GEN.G in this moment is the fact that they are missing some of the key ultimates, right? They use the bullet time, they don't have the Hextech ultimatum. If they had those, I feel like being a bit more confident, maybe trying to end, still could have been suicide, but with yourself giving TL so much time to breathe that you have to look for the next window you can. GEN.G have already been in the spot where they've had the Baron, where they've gone for these pushes. Team Liquid do only have one inhibitor turret and inhibitor left, so it will put a lot of pressure if you are able to break that one down. We just need to see GEN.G be able to follow it up with the kills to be able to end the game.
Might be this time around, though. Still 2.5 minutes on the Guardian Angel, which means basically during the entire Red Bull Baron power play, GEN.G can grab Dragon Soul. They can go for any push that'll kill Alphari for real without him reviving. At the tail end of that, timing out is when the GA comes back, so we'll see just what point of that we get to.
And I just don't think TL can afford to give over that soul. I really do think they have to fight for it. We'll see if they agree or if they are willing to sit back a little bit more. And right now, it's a 3-1-1 here for GEN.G. They have Bertle and bot, BDD's pushing in mid, and they have this three-man squad here pushing up top, and they're just looking to get that triple inhib here and seal the deal here by locking TL into their base.
Ruler no longer earns gold. Alphari going to be TP'd upon. His teammates coming now as well as Corejj is in there, but Alphari, despite the locket, will go down. 1-0. Corejj not going to find anywhere to go.
That's going to do it.
The TP, I believe, was canceled, and that should be the game. GEN.G made it close to their own volition, but the jungle and mid difference were just too good. Santorin going to fall. Jensen going to be next up as Tactical is going to drop for the third time this game. GEN.G go to 2-1, knocking down Team Liquid. The Nexus to follow.
GEN.G looking extremely strong in this one. Really nice game, I think, especially coming out from BDD and Clid, getting that early lead. Did take a bit longer to close it out, I think, than they would like, but they kept pace, they kept stacking up Barons, they kept answering these side lane plays coming out from Team Liquid, and in the end, they were able to get the win in such a crucial group game.
Yeah, I mean, TL, I think, just made a few too many mistakes. GEN.G gave them an opportunity to potentially come back in with that bot lane dive. You know, got them the Baron, got them the kills that allowed them to hang on here. But the early game from GEN.G was so impressive, and I do think the Trundle just, there was no answer to it.